E aí, eu sou o Zap, capitão, e esse é meu time, a 2Game. O primeiro é o Prize, o mais consistente em todos os aspectos do meu time, e esse aí é meu irmão, não tem jeito. Logo depois vem o Silas, esse é o coração da equipe, esse aí é nosso irmãozinho mais novo, não tem jeito também. Em seguida tem o LZ, nosso controlador, ele é nosso porto seguro. E por último, o Gobeira, nosso sentinela, muita mira, não dá pra entrar no bombe dele.
And there you just got reintroduced rather, to 2Game 2G, but unfortunately for them, they got introduced to this Furia roster that really did not let up at all, Mimi. They walk away with a 13-7 win.
You told me Furia was beating 2G today. I totally believe you, but not that it was this roster, all the way from NA Challengers, proving just how good they are in that first map.
And they got off to an absolute tear in this game as well, stealing away that second round after losing Pistol. They then put together a string of rounds to jump out to an early lead. And I want to look at this Chaos run. There are 8 ults that are used in this retake. We've got Teo, we've got Breach. It's absolute insanity coming through here, because Silence sort of scouts out everything and then has this follow-up Teo utility trying to get 2G to come in on the retake, using that ult as well to keep the players back. But then it's Jake and Adder from downtown making it all happen, Mimi.
And you heard in that initial interview with Stellar, he thought the strength of this team was the coordination between the players, from playing together on Turtle Troop, on YFP, on rosters before that. And I felt like that really showed through in the chaotic moments of this game. This is 2025 Valorant across the board. 18 ultimates every round.
Does anyone know what's happening? There's a Breach ult comboed with a Teo ult in that.
We're gonna need a breakdown.
No, everyone has seen the clip where it's Kadril reacting to like the B post plant or the B take on Bind, where it's Viper's ult, Harbor ult, Brimstone ult, Raze ult.
It's only gotten
no
more
idea
chaotic since then.
My question to Kadril is, if you watch that round, is Valorant easier to understand in 2025 or is it harder?
But what's crazy is that despite that chaos, I think that Furia did such a good job still setting up the right crossfires, still playing together, swinging off each other. It was really innate in the way that they were playing. And I think in particular on defense, their site anchors did such a good job of navigating around that utility. Jake almost always had a site smoke for the anchor, and they did a great job of finding that one gap in the util, getting their kill, and buying so much time for the rest of the team to rotate in and use their own crazy volley of utility to close out the round on these flood retakes.
There were also a lot of rounds where they were sort of pushing up on the extremities. In the pistol round, they got punished for that walking down into long, but Penny consistently was challenging down A or down C, and what it allowed them to do was heavier stack on other sides of the map, and even when he was pushed up forward, there was still Breach utility ready to play off that guy.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead, though, and shine a light on one of the, top performers coming out of that map, right? Gobeira, even though Silence had a few moments where he was really
he was the guy
up,
the first half.
For sure. But Gobeira definitely stepped up for him, even though it ended up in an L, though, Ender. Gobeira certainly put up numbers.
Clearly the aim is good, but I was impressed by how many different good spots he found himself in, whether it was like playing behind a box with a teammate baiting from up in window, navigating that seaside especially. He was really finding these different angles and repositioning after smokes go down, after flashes go down, and still finding ways to get a couple of free kills, shooting players in the back of the head, and still convert for an extra third.
And Wyatt and Uber were mentioning on this cast, right? He was on a Brazilian Challengers team that got relegated. He wasn't like a top prospect coming out of the region, but 2G brought him into the fold to sub in, and filling into the big shoes of Spike is that missing player on the roster. He did an excellent job on that Vice, map 1.
It's tough too, because there's a few rounds like towards the end there where he's in the 1v2 on B site and he drops down the ultimate, and if it just comes in a quarter of a second faster, Penny's gun goes offline, he wins that round. They're much closer, maybe they get some momentum
maybe
back.
changes.
Look, he was pulling out all the stops and just barely missed in a couple of those rounds.
One thing is for certain, though, that I've pulled away from this is the depth of talent in the Challengers division is insane. If that is what we've been treated to, and that's just match 1. But for now, though, let's go ahead and hear from the coach on the other side of the field for 2G to hear what they have to say going into map 2.
I am joined by Faith Zor for a quick word between the two maps. It was a pistol round that went your way, and then the map got a little shaky for your pick. What have you talked to the team about, and how are you feeling about Lotus?
Yeah, we're doing fine. We kind of had a misplay at Garage at the 1-0, right? So that's kind of snowballed then for the next 3-4 rounds, and that kind of makes it hard. But we're doing fine. We kind of had a slow start, but yeah, we're going to be fine. Yeah, we are good.
All right, Faith Zor, hope to see it. Good luck.
Thank you.
I think Faith said they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. He has faith. Oh, come on, maybe that. You get one. You know, I would have said the joke otherwise, so I'm proud of you. I've taught you well. But let's talk about what he was discussing there, the snowball, how like one round kind of just really led to destruction. And granted, there's always going to be a mess of other things at play, but we do know Valorant to be quite a snowbally game if those things will go your way.
When you're playing comps like this that have a ton of power ultimates, those chaos rounds, like the one we were highlighting, are the ones that really matter, because when those big tools are being invested, you have to win the rounds. And critically, almost every time we had one of those big swing rounds in play, Furia was taking things home. They just did better at navigating those late rounds in the chaos.
It's true, and I'm honestly a little bit more concerned for 2G heading into the second game. Our GOAT stats guy just hit me up and said that Furia won 73% of the actual buy rounds in that game. So while, yes, it felt like a very close game, it might not actually have been that close in those pure rifle v rifle rounds as we might have thought.
Yeah, all right. Well, folks, we're going to have so much more to talk about, but we got some game to cover. So let's jump into map 2. But for now, though, we're going to take a quick break. And when we return, we continue the series.
I tell you, they came out of absolutely nowhere, but Furia, they came straight from NA Challengers, baby. I'm not going to stop bigging them up. That first map, exciting one to start with and very back and forth, but it was Furia with this standing roster that triumphed. Now we're heading on to Lotus, a map that comes back into the pool wide recently. We've seen a ton of this like double blast initiator setup, like a lot of Teho and Breach here. Might expect to see that continue. Both teams really trending in that direction.
We've already seen it on Lotus in this tournament. We've already seen it on Lotus in Europe in the past week as well. So would not be shocked to see that again. We know how strong Breach is on this map. That has always been the case. That early control, the fights towards Rebel being so important, and that agent thrives there. So certainly expecting to see that, and likely not a Yoru for Silence again, but probably back to Raze where he has thrived. He was very good on that agent during the Ascension run. Yeah, and there it is. Okay. And we've got the Teho Breach again, and the Vice again. I mean, they're running it back.
Listen, on Lotus, the sites on Lotus are notoriously hard to hold from the outside. You generally have to be in them in the post part of that attacking team. So it's possible that we're seeing that trend towards, agents that can dig people out, right? Pressure with those guided salvos.
So we have the mirror. We have the mirror match.
Okay.
I was hoping for a little bit of adder deadlock. The non-challengers watchers are being robbed of some ridiculous play, but that's all right. I expect them to be perhaps, maybe not just as silly, because the Annihilation lineups are ridiculous, but we might still see some very cool setups from this man. He's a very creative player.
Right, the stage is set. This was a map selected by Furia. Clearly, and like we heard them in the interview beforehand, someone laughed when Riv asked them what kind of prep they were doing. I don't know who it was, I'm not going to out anyone in the background, but they've been really leveraging their chemistry. As players that have played together for years, nothing really concrete in terms of the practice of prep. There's no coach interview at halftime, is there? Because there isn't one.
There's no coach. I mean, it is just mental. They played a fantastic game on Haven. If they replicate that, that tier of defensive play on Lotus as well, oh my god, man. It might just be over for 2G in their debut right to the lower bracket.
But 2G finally gets to be the underdog in their debut game, right?
Oh yeah, it only took one map loss, unfortunate. And it's slow for them on attack, with LZ really the only 2G player on any kind of explorations peeking towards a rubble.
We're not seeing any Viper on this kind of map, so that lurk wall's a thing of the past here, keeping players pinned to a side of the map defensively. Not happening here.
And I have to feel that 2G are still feeling from map 1 a carryover of Furia's willingness to push so deep early on these rounds. We're 40-something odd seconds in, and they've just now went over to control Mound. They were expecting a push out this entire time.
You feel like in the next few seconds we're about to get an explosive push here on the
Furia
side.
have read this. Again, they're stacked on the right side.
They've not seen anything quite yet, but that smoke's now dissipated. Silence here trying to pave the way. Fault line going to come on in here, but Ada's already found Silence straight away. Wind out of the sails.
The rest of the team cut off by those guided salvos.
Oh no! Look, he's got behind them. Ada sneaks into the corner and finds his third for the round, and 2G just got hit with a soul read.
Stellar is reading these guys like a book, I say again, on round 1, because we just saw a whole half of Haven go the exact same way. Furia always had 3 players on the site that was going to be hit. 2G didn't make a peep that entire round up until the actual execute. That reposition from Ada is lovely, getting into the corner, 2 freebies.
One of the biggest criticisms that Stella's VCT team got in 2023 was not being able to adapt to situations, to be able to read. Look at what we're seeing here straight away, second map already.
And
Furia
actually struggling on the defensive side more than attack that year. This play is really sublime. I'm so impressed. I mean, I expected them to be good, but so far they've been great. Oh my god, all right, well, LZ just going insane with the Sheriff. Sure.
Sometimes you just take a fight. That was pretty raw. Cabrera falls here, Stella's now to wrap around. Another couple for Stella, and Zap's not even enough to stop him. Out up Silent. No spike plant though, and that is that. Furia wrap this one up again pretty quickly.
Wrap it up in, what, 25 seconds? Despite LZ finding 2 immediate picks with the Sheriff. I want to see that on the replay. We saw it from the POV of those getting domed, but those shots must have been sick. I mean, here we go, just take that initial duel. Wow, yeah, adjustment onto B-Dog.
Look at all the util on that site there. There's like a shear, there's a razor fine set up. None of that's relevant.
I feel like such a broken record here, but it's just the speed on these floods from Furia paying dividends. Again, despite being at this man advantage, Stellar's in there, Penny's in there, they're ready to fight. They're hitting them from all angles while they're trying to get the spike down.
That was an extremely fast wraparound from Stella. Here though, bonus round for Furia. They have a rifle in his hands.
A side completely for free, pushed up with the boombot. All 4 players. If they go any further, they're going to meet the shear. It's just Adder anchoring on C. What can we do?
It's going to delay them a fair bit. They're going to pull out here. No use waiting for it to come down. It's what, 6 to 7 seconds, I think.
Yeah, so Furia, they proc that wall, and you can see Gobert's attention has been drawn. Has to be weary now of Furia flanking.
Adder's going to have to get busy. He's got the only rifle here. He's got to put it to good use. I'd say that's not bad for a start. Might look to slink away a little bit now as the guided salvos come in. It's LZ, the only one that actually gets ahead of this into the site. Stealth drone might have spotted Adder out here now. It's going to be an aftershock, forcing him out of position. He's only got 5 bullets. He has not had a chance to reload. Does that now.
2G, monotonous getting into the site, but at least now they get to bend. Look at Furia though, 4 players ready to go.
They're coming. Here's Penny, explodes out of the smoke immediately. LZ falls, Prize trying to set up with a flash here. That's going to be Ada falling. Gobera able to follow up on it. Still no spike plant. They've not gotten onto the site yet properly. And Penny wins out another one with the Guardian. Price has gotten forward here, but it's awkward. They're forced back now by a paint shell, and there's 20 seconds left in the round. 2G are trapped. They're encircled. And they're going to fight their way through the net. That's Prize with 2. And B-Dog has to salvage now. Still no plant just yet. Aftershock. Prize is just able to get away from it. And that's a great fault line. B-Dog has to get out.
Does just recover that rifle, though.
He's flashed himself back in. Price is so low. Zap has the off angle. He gets him by the skin of their teeth. 2G in a 2 versus 4 prevail in the third.
It looked like it was completely cooked. Furia maybe overplaying their hand there, trying to get back in. I mean, frankly, can you blame them, though, on the spike tap in a 4-on-2? They want to just rush in. They can't win the duels. It was a bit disconnected, though, with Penny fighting lower. There was that awkward satchel. I think you actually knocked himself back. What a recovery from 2G. Big credit to Zap, IGL stepping up. Economy would have been in tatters had they lost that round.
Yeah, a few guns go by the wayside, though, when LZ's on a Guardian here. Silence just sat in between that Venn diagram of murder.
Here comes that stealth drone, see if that gets any info. At least aware now that LZ is pressed up towards tree, though. Probably could have assumed that without the drone getting the info. It's just Stellar towards the A site. The rest of Furia, they've pushed out a B. They have a trap play set up. B-Dog has that fault line in hand, but ultimately it doesn't seem like it's going to matter one bit. 2G just want to explode out tree, get this A site, and they should pretty much for free. You know, Stellar's just hoping to maybe get 1 kill, fall back, play for a 5-on-4 retake.
That is a Furious smoke there, thrown down. Silence here looks to challenge. Stella wins it out though. Solo player on the side. He's got to hold off for as long as he possibly can. Looks to challenge there into what was a flash, and here comes Jake from stairs. The cavalry has arrived, and Jake runs rough shot over him. It's just Cabrera, and he is too far away to intervene.
An Adder's already got a beat on him. Awkward, and the gun duel does win the first, but Penny Swift on the trade. 2 rounds in a row now. Despite 2G winning that prior, which came from a miracle 2v4, they are slow at getting into the sights right now. Stellar was alone there for how long? 15 seconds at least.
And he wasn't hiding. He pushed up like this.
They just never hit the gas into the site. And Furia, who were holding a trap set up on B main for ages, were still able to rotate in time to flood into support Stellar. 2G, it feels like they're losing some of the confidence. It's fading at the moment.
After that first map, it's hard to come back from. Now Furia actually push up here on the A side behind one of these Omen smokes, so they might look to challenge here a wrap through A, and there's no shear to slow this down. Oh my goodness! LZ, not ready for them to be so far up already.
And look at this, as soon as the wall is procced, here comes that fault line. B-Dog can't connect though.
He's got the util though, sort of follow it up. It's going to be a aftershock that gets thrown in. Stella makes his peek and goes 1 for 1. B-Dog's out of the action for the time being, but Jake, man, this guy's ready to rip and tear. Silent sitting heaven side without a real weapon to defend himself. Yet another one chalked up for Furia.
It's just ruthless from the NA Challengers team, having a nice little vacation in LA, play some Valorant with their buddies, and they've turned up in sick form.
That is absurd. You've got to be calling a timeout here if you're 2G. Nothing really has been working so far. Bit of an awkward buy round that last one. I think 3 players not in a position to get themselves rifles. All of 2G essentially challenge that sheer, get across onto the site, but it's very easy to be contained inside B.
The moment that spike gets tapped, they can just expect all 5 Furia players to be right on top of them. And even at that, it's in the early rounds. You're just seeing this death ball running around the map, taking fights. And frankly, this is actually how Penny's team, he was on YFP in 2024. When they played Lotus, that was the style that he was running. They were triple death balling, just running around, taking fights on the extremities, him in the breach, constantly. They're mega proactive, and that's carried over into this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think only Adder wasn't on YFP at some point. A lot of players crossed the fence between Turtle Troop and that YFP roster. Again, they play with each other for so long. This stuff just seems to be second nature for them now.
We've really arrived at a similar juncture now, early on into Haven, essentially taking a timeout at the same spot, if not I think the exact same spot for 2G, coming into a round where all of the ults are going to be on the table, economy is on the line, it's must win. They actually lost this round on Haven, but then recovered by winning in Eco later. This is another big one. 2G have to win this.
2G have already let 4 defense rounds from Furia go. Not a good omen on this map, speaking of which. Jake gets brought down by Silence. Another burst of speed here for 2G. Okay, we're not ready for the TP behind, apparently. Penny trying to come in through on the ramp, but there's no one here to be affected by that Armageddon. Very fast hit for 2G. Overwhelms Furia.
Not a lot of attention being paid to this flank, though. Penny might be able to get,
please watch it,
1 for free. Nah, not going to happen now, as 2G have really put emphasis on stacking up towards Baby Door.
Stealth Drone's going to go towards Link, though, so won't snap this out. There it is, Cabrera! Always tucked in the corner, always good for 3. 2G finally get back into the game.
They just went from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. That was the first time that they really just went with all-out speed, getting into the site. Little teleport play with LZ's ultimate as there was that satchel forward from Silence. A cool way to open this up.
Man, they hit this very fast. Yeah, it was an Omen TP crunch onto the B side.
And if you're Jake, you're just stunned that this raises in your face. 2 seconds have been shed off the clock. Not ready for that at all.
That's the decisiveness we've been looking for.
Yeah, I love that pace mix-up out of the timeout. Great call.
All right, LZ again quickly gets out towards Rubble. Has the TP for it, though. Guided salvos clearing parts of the map. Silence again, doubles. Satchel in. Oh, Stella's having to get away from that one. That one's going to bounce into drop, though, so a little bit dangerous. Silence already gets up to the upper side of the site. Stella drops down himself and goes 1 for 1. B-Dog in tree, trying to put roots down, but Cabrera pulls him out. Silent is sat inside that smoke. Adder awkwardly now has to put away the rifle.
And he pops that showstopper, trying to get out of Baby Doral. Can he actually find a target, though?
Making enough noise to wake the dead, but Silence won't be roused. Vera deals with Adder eventually. He was playing from upper now. It's going to be up to Jake and Penny, respectively. The ladder from stairs might actually look to wrap here, so Jake might have to take a beat and syncopate this push.
Penny does have a grenade, could send that down. Now feels like he needs to use it close, and it's actually going to land right onto Prize, I believe. Forced back. Jake tries to get the adjustment in time.
Almost a breakneck flick there from Jake. LZ now behind the one-way.
He's got the info on both players now. Penny is wrapping back from stairs. Could get a free kill onto Gobera.
Timing is everything. 8 bullets left here. Penny finds him okay now. This one's on the table for Furia. It's up to LZ, who is behind a one-way and now needs to step up. Step into the fray and challenge it. Penny's there for 4. And Furia with an unlikely comeback get themselves back on the rails.
Lovely from Jake, who's been on an absence from VCT Americas post that stint with Cloud9.
In kickoff. That's when he got dropped.
That movement in tree was really excellent. Spotted out all of the players, got all of the information, remained this flanking presence, and then Penny having the presence of mind.
What are you doing?
Actually go around and capitalize off that info. Yeah, I'm doing my job, bro. I'm trying to get paid out here. What are you talking about?
I don't know what to say to you. Penny like, wraps in between upper and stairs multiple times there. So active on that retake attempt. So 2G still able to buy, but at risk of being relegated down to weaker weapons in the next round. 5 defense rounds for Furia. That's got to feel good.
Got this mount control. They're pressing up towards B as well, or 2G, or being collected onto Zap, and that's the Armageddon active. Could be great for a big execute, as the defenders have heavily rotated towards this seaside.
It's a good initial guess here from Furia. You have to imagine there will be some rotation required. Okay, well, the rat spot is noted. Adder, though, opts to linger for a time. We have Annihilation up here for Zap. The only ultimate on the field.
Silence trying to get this wall activated, and there it is. Second try a little bit better than the first, and that's drawing attention from the defenders. A paranoia actually expended from Jake, and that was just to get Penny back on the line into B.
How well can Adder anchor this situation?
This has been some good calling so far from 2G. They're working the map well. They're going to get this site for free. Adder just gets out of harm's way.
Very disoriented, I think, he'd be there as the Razorvine came in, but Furia now able to play for the retake. Penny, another beautiful opener there. Smoke comes down over towards the hall side, and Price is going to be forced away. Nice use of the guided salvo to buy time. What? He actually goes down. Stella picks him up with his signature ability, and there's no chance to plant. The pace from Furia, so hard to deal with, and Penny knocks 3.
When are you supposed to plant the spike? You really just cannot let the
best
time
part.
dwindle. I know, you cannot let the time dwindle to the extent that 2G are against this comp when they haven't gotten enough util out, when those guided salvos have been recycled from the earlier round use.
Oh, you're kidding me? That's the opener?
Some nice RNG spam.
Price is trying to dance between them.
Yeah, just trying to dance between little pulses that actually do the damage. It looked like there may have been a little sliver of open space he could have used, but tragically no.
Let's go for it again, round 9 here. Penny is 12-2, folks. That's a nasty paint shell.
That's juicy.
Look at Jake. He's up on Rubbly. Might try and swing this, but LZ's going to be there to stop him in his tracks with the Guardian.
They know they got a lot of damage, but they really overplayed their hand.
They're taking a lot of damage as well. Wyatt, they are looking haggard. And again, it's Penny with an opener. He might look to repost on this angle behind him. Oh my god, that could have been nasty. Zap's out to take him down, at least though with the Sheriff. Spike's loose, not picked up yet. And Furia just picking 2G apart at their leisure.
It's just pure duels. Adder trying to get some spam off the Jiggle Peak. B-Dog with the most health in the server. More damage onto Gobera. Combined 67 for the remaining Brazilian players against B-Dog, who was having some outlandish moments in regards to the aim on map 1 Haven. Mostly just been, providing that supportive utility so far on Lotus, but you have to feel that he can just step up whenever necessary.
This one's a big ask though for B-Dog. Trying to retake this C site. So a question of whether he can catch Gobera early. LZ is not going to look to trade off of the Vice at all. Instead, just stop the plant from that passive mound position.
They're playing far away. Has the paranoia, actually.
In comes B-Dog's made no sound so far. About to, though. Fault Liner might look to deal with the threat here a bit closer. He's not checking Waterfall at all. Cabrera, though, doesn't get to see him. B-Dog has dropped down. Time, though, is of the essence, and there's not enough time for B-Dog to get these kills, turn around and go for a defuse. That's LZ low, and B-Dog will have to be satisfied with that for the round.
There's some damage at the very least, I suppose, but 2G played that pretty textbook in the 2v1. Best, most ideal plant spot. And even if B-Dog had tried to stick on that, that flank was coming from Gobert. They had that locked up, so well played to get their third on the board. And what was an eco round, by the way? I mean, not a pure eco. They had a couple decent weapons at the very least.
It was that messy trade out towards Rubble that they ended up sort of prevailing in that allowed them to pull out in the 2 versus 2, ping over to another side. That's that attacker's advantage, I guess, given how big this map is, but 3 attack side rounds for 2G.
Penny is ready to get back into tier 1, man.
Yeah.
This team's 14-3. What did that? I mean, I know he's been playing well, but it is pretty wild.
Long time coming for him. Showstopper in hand this round. Still guns to be bought for Furia. Can still work with this.
Furia pushed up with that mound control. Penny wants to go really deep with the Showstopper. Shouldn't be able to get any value here, I can't imagine. Unless Gobert.
There's no way.
No, he's away!
Oh, that's just unreal. What kind of Q has he gotten for that? Maybe the footsteps. Either way, he's taken huge space and narrowed things down. Now Furia know that 2G are all here in A. And they're pretty committed. They're in the side proper. LZ, they're looking to take the fight. Boots on the ground. He is ready for it. Jake here, though, the timing from stairs is good enough to knock him loose, and the spike also out in the open.
Yeah, B-Dog just found a kill over towards Rubble as well, so the Furia players can pinch in through tree. A lot of angles of danger from 2G. They have to be weary of these flanks.
They're testing tree already. Furia with 2 players might look to double face this. Silence, he's got to be forced away. And that's Penny again! What an unreal showing from this guy. Lying in wait and then pouncing for 3.
And it was that flanking presence that just drew the crosshair from LZ away. And in that very moment, Penny just gets the 2 freest kills he's probably gotten in this series so far. And just like that.
And this is the series, by the way, a round where he just got that random showstopper kill. Free of the match.
By the way, yeah, he did just. That is pretty tragic for Gobert. There really isn't anywhere else for him to go. LZ tried his best to recover this.
Yeah, he's been doggedly trying to play forward in a lot of these situations. Why? Good for a couple and a few of these rounds, but it's just not enough.
That was the economy breaker for 2G as well. It's typically a map that at least historically we've looked at as being more attacker-sided, though who knows exactly with the state of the new meta. I mean, that was back when we were seeing the Raze fade stuff all the time. There was still Viper being played, so we'll have to see how things shape out with Lotus back in the pool with all of these new agents. 2 of them we've got on both sides here. Still crazy that Teo's been out for 9 days and we've seen him 4 times in this series.
Yeah, just add water. He has been an instant plug and play for so many of our VCT rosters. 2G committed so many resources here to stop Penny. He might have their number here. Patient play, not looking to commit to that engagement.
Yeah, and even with them being on an eco round, there have been moments in the past where Furia on the anti-eco press forward. We're fighting all the way into A lobby. 2G want to bait out some of that aggression to find an opener, but it doesn't come, and they've headed towards C. This is where the execute is going to be coming through.
All right, Paranoia, and that's going to be Jake playing off it. Gets him one, and Silence goes down. No, the spiritual leader, Zap, ends up taking one of his teammates out of the game, and Jake will find 4. Furia now are starting to swing 2G around like ragdolls. It's not pretty.
Off to the danger of having so many explosives at the moment, and especially with Teo being pretty new. We're going to see some unfortunate.
God, you cannot afford that.
This anchoring from Jake is sublime. Superior weaponry, of course, but
the fault line, so sick. Perfectly set up there by B-Dog. Nasty. And yeah, that's a round where you can't afford to lose a player to those Teho utility pieces.
Furia have the trap set up right now, but the showstopper, oh my god, it whips!
How does he miss? Penny gets behind him though, but realizes he does need to deal with Silence, who brings him down. B-Dog holds his ground, and Jake now knows he might need to go for a one and done. Going to be spotted out by this, and he doesn't have a TP available to get out right now. He's suppressed. Somehow, that's Aftershock. may have protected it.
Look at where LZ has inserted himself with the teleport. No, circumvented all this utility, but he, oh my god, yeah, he definitely got spotted out by that stealth drone. This is a ridiculous fight, Brane. What is happening? Come gets a kill there. The spike is going down on C. Okay, I mean, they've hit Furia with the razzle-dazzle. They don't know where any player is.
And Stella doubles back over towards that A side here, but now they know the plant is over at C. B-Dog, quiet again, but been great on the utility. This time he has to do it himself, or buy time for Stella to get there, but time again is short for this retake, and he's taking a huge amount of damage. Fault line avoided. Okay, a little special delivery also thrown up on the side there. Stella's going to go for it. He's the healthy one right now, but Prize has a great timing, and the healthy Stella is down. Why not commit the Rolling Thunder in the last round of the half here to secure your chances of winning the round? B-Dog once more will not have enough time to find a defuse here. It's been a rough first half here for 2G. Bookending it at least with a round win has got to feel good, but there's some climbing to do for this roster.
Once they eventually got the spike down on some of these rounds, we were able to set up those post plants, the crossfires for Mound. Sure, they're able to scrape by, but it required the ultimates on these rounds too. Funny enough, the most impactful one might have been Omen's teleport ultimate.
Onto the B side.
Yeah, they won both rounds that they used that, funny enough. And they won both rounds where they went fast into B. Their enemy was their slow play on too many rounds, and Furia capitalizing off of that with fast rotates.
Consistent pattern. 2 rounds won by Furia, 1 by 2G. Rinse and repeat. 8-4 is the half as Furia have a comfortable lead. Let's see what they've got in store for us in the second, but for now, a breather.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Paltry 4 attack side rounds picked up by 2G on Lotus. Furia's map pick, but this is where 2G need to come alive because they lost the first as well. Haven did not go their way. Lotus, Wyatt isn't looking much better.
Penny is on a quest to prove himself and return to Tier 1. He has said as much publicly for over a year at this point. I mean, he is definitely shown to be a really driven player that is making the most of this opportunity. 17 for 4 on the defense. Was running rampant, taking all the liberties, taking early duels. Great breach support util. Let's just see if he can keep it up to close this out. Furia, they just look like the better team today.
Yeah, the setup for Beto, like you said, their breach util's been absolutely superb. Okay, decent little ping out there. Silence definitely noted. To nobody on Furia's surprise, it's a very heavily fortified B site.
There.
Penny has controlled all of Mound on his own, spotting out some of the utility littered by that Vice Sentinel Gobert, the lone 2G player trying to hold down C with the execute.
They might swing this all together. Clear the Razorvine. Okay, they actually draw out the Shear, but they leave Jake TPing into the site. I don't know if 2G are ready for this. 7 seconds, and that Shear's got to come down. Paint shells there, a little concerning for Jake.
Are Furia going to commit or pivot away? Because look at Adder on the minimap all the way towards A right now.
Is he doing enough?
Cover fades, Jake. This is tough. Fault line comes through. They're taking fights. Adder is going through the A side right now. And yeah, the spike is now leaving. It's retreating. They're going towards A.
I can't believe that this has happened, Adder.
They've all gotten out, man.
Still, though, there's a chance here for 2G to maybe cut some players off, but they instead opt to play together as a 4. This means that Adder can take a couple shots and has to fall off this line.
Yeah, 2G know that someone could be positioned there. They have guns out ready for that. Full execute. I mean, that was a great arc, Rose, but
Furia are spread thin in this post-plant white. This is a little awkward now. They've got players watching B and over towards Rubble.
I like that those missiles, they actually cut off Silence. Jake gets that insta-trade. This reflect coming from B-Dog.
Penny with some good damage there through the smoke. Now 2G are looking to group up as a deathfall. They've got to go for this, but B-Dog again looking to set them up with the util. Zap caught out by it. Jake able to find the swing, and B-Dog getting things done on his own. Gabera, can he save them? It's not enough. It was good, but not enough.
Essentially full map control for Furia. Adder gets all the space in A for absolute free. Somehow they retreat out of that C hit, only taking 13 total damage. That was onto Jake. Pivoting over, B-Dog re-wraps through B. It is just lovely.
That damage, by the way,
the Turtle Troop core, some of YFP, some of the best we have in NA Challengers. I mean, again, Furia could not have gotten a better squad together last second to come here. Experienced players on the stage, and they're showing it all.
They might like try and go a little bit faster here. Penny with a Guardian. Those salvos now clear. 2G unwilling to show themselves, but again, it's Adder who creates an opportunity across the map. It's over at C this time, and yet Furia still want to fight a little bit towards Rubble. Jake's a little low. Somewhat committed now, with Silent is going to walk this smoke, and Jake finds the perfect timing to slip through the net.
Just barely low HP. I mean, real danger. 2G, they want to press the issue. They're going all the way through into the attacker spawn. 4 players. I like that proactivity from them, trying to find a timing to set the trap with the guided salvos.
B-Dog's ready. Oh, he's tucked as well.
I mean, it's ready, but it's all on him.
He's good for one, surely. I love the shoulder pick there from Silence. B-Dog's going to have to stand and fight now. Can't get rid of any of the util. Awkward. And there's a chance here, a real one for 2G.
They still have to breach this choke point with all 4 players, but luckily no utility for Stellar. They should be able to press through right now.
Stellar playing passively off it. He knows he's no util. The leverage! Oh, that's dirty! In a blink of an eye, 2 players from 2G picked out of the litter, and Stellar will double back for a 3rd. Pulls on the thread, and the sweater comes apart.
Despite getting that kill onto B-Dog with some rare whiffs from him in this series, getting through that choke point with your pistol holding the players is a nightmare. Perfect angle held from Stellar.
He gives him nothing. He gives him absolutely nothing.
That is just effortless from the vet. Some moments of excitement for Furia. Penny up to 18. Jake on 15. Really turned it up on this map too, by the way.
I feel like just the setups here for Furia, the calling has been superb. Stellar's got to be credited with that. 6-round lead. 2G now with a buy.
A buy with everything on the line. Everyone sub 200 credits if the stealth drone comes through to get some information towards this C site. Shear's still there, that wall. Going to have to get that procced at some point so they can push in as a unit.
Might be a quick cancel call here. Shields over on the B side for Furia. That might have been triggered earlier, so they quickly check into connector.
Look at that. Jake actually has the dark cover placed at the choke point to cut off those angles, and he's just using it to get that wall nullified. Nice little micro play. Util for util trade, and it makes the site way easier to crack into.
Okay, Penny gets past so much of that util. He's in the site. And the rest of Furia now following him in. Jake has gotten up to waterfall now. Can again set up yet another smoke to cut that waterfall position off. And Adder always a loose end.
Yeah, an important duel here. Adder in the spawn, but goes down to LZ.
It's the player you want there. I think LZ has been very, very good when he just has to run at a wall. But we're in the post part now, well and truly. Jake waiting for some kind of action. There's got to be a double swing coming from Halls in just a moment. Here is that Armageddon. That's from Furia. And here's Zap, doesn't care for it at all, takes the challenge and finds 2. At 21, he has to back away. The flash would have been good to play off of, but B-Dog is getting there. A third for B-Dog, it's not enough. 2G able to salvage what could have been an ugly round for them again.
Trying to redeem those whiffs from the prior round, B-Dog. Good effort. That Armageddon just not extracting the necessary value to make up for the man deficit that LZ was able to garner for 2G. Can't understate how crucial that engagement with Adder was earlier in the round. Opens up the possibility for flanks that Furia then have to watch for. And the team is just relegated to all playing in the site. They're trying to play crossfires with the spike planted towards Ben. They didn't have it planted for that mound spam position where we saw 2G finding what little success they had on their attack.
I feel like LZ was absolutely critical in that round. Gabera has been the best player for this 2G roster today as well.
That is pretty wild. The stand-in for Spike has really stepped up. That was the bonus, though, for Furia. This isn't the perfect buy. Adder has a Stinger. They have a lot of light armors.
Sheer wall there still to contend with. Looks like they might send 2 players in to deal with it. Yep, 1 TP pass. Oh, it's a dangerous challenge. Gabera's taken down. That means all of 2G's presence in the C side has been neutralized.
He definitely had a chance to get his 1 and slip away back into Waterfall. Just couldn't connect the crucial shots. Penny, a nice adjustment.
Oh, the timing's not there either for the aftershock, so Stella will be able to walk away unscathed.
And again, LZ on the flank. Look at him coming from Mount. Pivotal to wrangle this back for 2G.
This time it's going to be B-Dog, but he's tucked in that same corner. Last time he got undone. This time he keeps himself hidden, but look, he's sitting there with the lineup. This is going to be punished. Silence gets concussed there. Oh, the follow-up was beautiful. The combo, special delivery, and that aftershock was good, but LZ has finally arrived. And he is dishing out retribution, but he's in a 1 versus 2. Jake repositions with a TP spots LZ with just a little shoulder peek. LZ would have had to ace to make it happen, but you had to believe. And that's Furia with their 11th.
What a beautiful little utility combo in the midst of that. The concuss coming through from
Say it, Wyatt.
The special delivery. Such a ridiculous util name. It's the concuss. It came through from Stellar. Combos with the aftershock from B-Dog, which, by the way, LZ, you can't blame him for wanting to be patient on that flank, but if he pulled the trigger faster, he would have killed B-Dog before the aftershock came in and killed Silence. I mean, he can't know that. You want to be patient in that situation. It's just unfortunate that, you know, that was the first domino that got knocked over, and it fell apart. Great sight hold from Furia.
Last time we saw a timeout for Furia, I think it was 4-1. They ended up winning the next round, but unfortunately couldn't keep that momentum going. This is their last one here. You'll notice, of course, that Furia have not had to take a sidebar at all on Lotus thus far.
Sidebar with whom? These guys don't have a coach. They don't have a coach, man.
Just with their own thoughts, you know? a little bit of sensory deprivation in the middle of the match to reset you. That's a great point. Why am I talking about timeouts, bro? Ay, ay, ay.
And now to call back to that round before the last, where B-Dog hit those snappy shots, but they still lost. It has resulted in 2G's economy not being good enough for a buy now. If they had just killed B-Dog quicker in that, what was it, 4v1 or so, they would be able to cobble something together here. But it looks like Furia should be able to get to 12. It's just a Bulldog for Silence. Maybe if things get scrappy, he can rip that showstopper to find a kill, or Zap can use the Armageddon. That's the only shot they have at flipping this round on its head.
They're going to push out of door here, I was going to say, for 2G, but instead, actually, they sit back. They're going to play off some of this util. Flash and fault line can be dispensed. Now they're going to go for it. Armageddon as well. Nice little combo. Penny has to go forward. He's got no choice but to stand and deliver. And then caught out the raise.
They are sending it on this round out of the timeout. There's a big fight at Rubble.
And it's got to be Furia that wins it out there. We see Adder even get chiming in there with the Outlaw. That's his second. And unfortunately, 2G, a cute idea that gets them the kill on Penny, the main instigator for Furia. But after the fact, when Furia finally commit back into that space, they're outgunned.
They do a beautiful job at getting back in with their own utility. And it's disastrous. The 2G have expended ultimates here. I can't be mad at them for taking a risk like that as Adder cleans it up on the round to try and win that. Try and not allow Furia to get to match point. But look at the state of things now. Penny, 1 orb away from the showstopper. Steel Garden for Adder. B-Dog has the Rolling Thunder. They have all the tools they need to end this game. Dominant on their map pick. And frankly, dominant on 2G's map pick of Haven.
At no point on Lotus have 2G been able to string more than 1 round consecutively together. It's been 1 round, then lose 2. 1 round, then lose 2. The whole game.
They want to go for this A control with guided salvos. Easy to get up pressed to this choke point. Here comes the Steel Garden, and it's actually Adder just sending it into B alone. Furia patient here.
He's taking the weight again, and now this fight's going to go down out towards Rubble, and they're going to get caught out by a fault line. The dark cover, though, does dissipate. There's nobody there from Furia to capitalize, but no one is going to expect Adder to be here. They're looking, there's no way. Silence, oh, the reaction is good. Sometimes the best laid plans go to waste. The Fury still have this B site, they still have a Rolling Thunder to play with. B-Dog is ready. Okay. Stella's there, though, it's going to be traded back. Here's B-Dog from upper, gets rid of Zap now, the 2 versus 2. Penny here's Gaberi, he has to know this is happening. And Gaberi can't afford to check this corner. He'll have a timing on the Vice. And there's a tick along the spike. Penny, though, puts him to bed. Showing the world that he's only gotten better.
I don't want to nerd out right now, but that last round was so cool from Furia. The Steel Garden cell coming into B, and then figuring that that would force the A Rubble players to want to push through and flank, because surely it's a B hit. And then Furia are just chilling in that dark cover A. I mean, this does not look like a team just thrown together, and that's because, again, to some extent, it isn't. It's that Turtle Troop YFP core that were dominant in Challengers in 2024. Unfortunate circumstances that led to them not being able to go on their expected run to Ascension, and yet somehow they still make it to America.
Can we just take a moment?
I can't believe it.
Can we just take stock of our surroundings right now? We've seen 2G come in, the Ascension team, they fall. The super sub team at the last minute cobbled, and I mean cobbled together for Furia, has triumphed, and not in any small manner. No, they thrashed 2G on that Lotus map.
Their inherent chemistry was on display. These guys have played with each other in so many variations of teams before. You have to give a lot of credit to, frankly, okay, across the board, these guys were hitting individually different times, but what a performance from Penny out of nowhere. Few years off, but back in a tier 1 match, plays like that, drops 20-something odd kills, and Stellar's IGLing was excellent. They read those 2G attacks like a book, playing too slow at times and exploited to the maximum. The Furia rotates were perfect. They were always stacking the right site.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. Sometimes the plan at the start of the round was just perfect. The rotation's absolutely beautiful. We now have this Furia team advancing in this upper bracket to take on some real heavyweights further down the line in competition. Normally we'd ask, what's the plan for this year? Like, what's the rest? But we have this Furia team now that we have to ask, how long can you keep this up for?
I'm still stunned. I mean, that was a fun game. I thought they would be good. They were definitely a bit better than good. These guys looked phenomenal, and it's just hilarious to see. I mean, I just can't believe that they won in that fashion, that they played at that level, and I believe we get to see them against Lev potentially again. I'm sure the Brazilian roster, they're happy they got this win, but tone it down a little bit. I want to keep my job.
How do you be the follow-up acts to what your team is sort of, the standard that your team has set? The bar has been placed right on the top shelf by this Furia lineup, and we get to see them go up against a team with question marks. That Leviathan roster, you know, the streets are saying, Tex is on duelist here, what's in the tank doing? That team, we really don't know how to make heads or tails of them here. While behind us, we have players that have played together on so many different teams over the years and have grinded, persevered through Tier 2, and now have a chance to actually leverage that chemistry by coming together at the last moment and putting together an incredible game plan. I've got to hear more about this team. I'm loving seeing NA Challengers represented, so let's head over to Riv Down on the stage with the Verizon post-match interview.
I am joined by Stellar of currently Furia, YFP, and Turtle Troop representing today, bringing home the win over 2G. Stellar, first off, just it looked like you guys were having fun out there. Like everybody was excited to be on the stage and putting out some shots.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably one of the most fun matches I've played in a long time. So, I mean, that was the goal. That was literally our main goal, is just to have some fun. So, and I'm glad we could win with it.
Is that like a kind of nugget experience now you can take? You're like, I'm going to try to inject this into the normal games that are actually pressure, because now you felt this kind of just relief on a stage and being able to play a whatever game.
I mean, yeah, for sure. It's like, obviously I've been a little known for being a little stern at times.
Okay,
so, I mean,
okay.
I've in the past, I've been working on having a little bit more fun and being a little bit more, loose and having a bit more fun in practice and stuff in matches. So that was good to showcase and have fun with my friends and some of my teammates and formers. So yeah, good times.
And you're showcasing quite a bit of Taeho out on those maps. Yeah. What are your thoughts? You put him in there. Do you think he needs to be in there as much as that, or is it going to change?
I don't know. I think Taeho Breach is pretty good right now. Okay. I think it's pretty strong. You get zoned pretty hard. You could clear a lot of stuff without really needing to use too much. 2 free abilities is kind of, I wouldn't say broken, but it's really strong. So I think, trying it out here was cool.
And we heard the devs talking about it, how important this moment can be for a lot of you guys. You've been on this stage before and still being important to get a win like this, and that kind of showing. What kind of stuck out to you, if any of the players or whatnot, this being such a big moment for them?
I mean, they're all some of the most slept on players, I think, currently, especially in Challengers. Penny has been, he was on an international stage super early. I haven't seen him, but he's still one of the best free agent duelists ever. I mean, all of them are great. They all deserve chances. So I wish somebody will take the chance eventually.
Awesome. Well, it's hard to miss that when you got a showing against 2G with that win. Stellar, thank you so much. Congratulations on the win. And we are going to be taking a quick commercial break. I believe after this, we're coming back for Energy versus Cloud9. Don't go anywhere.
Got a bunch of different mice.
When you find the one, you know it's the one.
저는 이게 제일 좋은 것 같아요.
Look at this. Isn't this perfect?
누가 만들었는지 알려주는 것도 같이 들어있고.
This mouse is ready for a fashion show.
It's Pulsar by me.
It's by me.
It's Pulsar by you.